I hope you all walk away today feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to try out some of these new tools and insights to make this B2B renaissance a reality. We heard from Mel and Natalie on the new thinking we need to bring to our craft. We heard from Lindsay, Taina, and Trevor about new capabilities that are going to help us do our best work. And we heard from Louisa and Liz on new perspectives and skills we'll need to meet this moment. I want to close with a hearty thank you to everyone who joined us up on stage here in the studio, in our partner sessions, and all of you who came out for this event today. We really appreciate your time and attention, and convening this esteemed group is our highest aspiration. So before we all repair to the after party, we do have a couple more tricks up our sleeves. First, I mentioned right at the top of the show that we have a new list of the most valuable brands in B2B. So last year, Brand Finance, in partnership with Stein IAS and the International Advertising Association, pioneered a new way of measuring both the value in our brands and the potential value yet to be realized. And many of you took this potential value to heart. And in this year's list, Brand Finance found that the combined value of our top B2B brands has grown by 10%. That's $250 billion newly put on the table through your diligent efforts investing in your brands. But there are many more interesting stories from this year's list. We have a new vanguard of brands that are racing up the charts, and some familiar faces catching second or third or fourth wins. Without any further ado, here are the most valuable B2B brands for 2024 according to Brand Finance. And for those of you who'd like to hear more, we have an exclusive session over in the studio with Brand Finance, Stein IAS, and MasterCard. So be sure to go check that out. So there's probably no surprises here, but personally, I like to see the action further down in the list. I have always loved a challenger brand story. And it strikes me that B2B itself is a bit of a challenger story, isn't it? It's a story worth telling, in fact. And that brings me to our last little surprise of the afternoon. We made a movie about you, about all of you, actually starring quite a few of you. Because we know that B2B marketers are amongst the cleverest, most inspiring marketers in the world. Are we biased? Sure, maybe. But we think your ambition and your energy is a story worth telling. So we worked with two-time Academy Award-winning director Ben Proudfoot to make a film, and tonight you all get to be the very first in the world to get a sneak peek. It's about the past, present, and future of B2B marketing. It's a tale global in scope, and it's all to underline the idea that if you want to make industrial-grade change in this world, you should come join us in B2B. We're really lucky to have connected with Ben because I think you'll agree he's the perfect person to tell our story. He brings a deeply empathetic outsider's eye, as well as a commitment to craft that we'd all do well to take to heart. And to introduce the film, I'd like to bring out Ben to share a little bit of his experience shooting it. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ben Proudfoot.
I just wanted to share a bit of my heart. I'm from Nova Scotia in Canada. Do we actually have somebody knows Nova Scotia around here? Somebody? Okay, let's find each other after and talk lobster. I was a magician as a teenager, and then I became a filmmaker and focused on short documentaries. And that's what I do, is I make short documentaries. But something that is in addition to all that's been talked about today, where creativity and making films and making art in service of business, there's another side of that I'd like to just add in there, which is that all that money that you spend making that stuff goes to a filmmaker. I see many cameras around here. These are all filmmakers too. I bet they've made films. I bet they've made animated pieces. I bet they went to film school. And while I was making my most recent passion project, The Last Repair Shop, which did win an Academy Award a couple weeks ago, which is great. It is about the last musical instrument repair shop in a public school district in this country. I was also working on this film. And that's what helped sustain our filmmaking business. And so there's two sides. When you invest in creativity, when you invest in making art and telling stories, there's also a filmmaker at the end who is also being sustained to do other things, make more art, and to adorn the world with great stories and great films and great art. And so the ripple effect of all of your investment is enormous. And I would not have a career if it wasn't for B2B marketing people who believed in telling stories. And it's very exciting because all the activity that's happening here today will have enormous ripple effect far beyond simply the campaigns and the success that comes from it. But more than that, all of the artists and filmmakers that your investment will enable. So congratulations in advance on that. When Jim first called me and said, you know, we want to make a movie about B2B marketing, I was like, huh? What is that? Who's gonna, I don't know how far this pitch is gonna go in Hollywood, you know? And as I started to learn about it, I realized it was actually the perfect pitch for a documentary, because documentaries are designed to take stories or take worlds or take people that have a huge impact in the world, but nobody knows about them. Nobody really knows how it works or what's going on with them, et cetera. And I realized that making a film about this could help demystify this world, which obviously has a huge impact on all of our lives. You know, even just looking around the room, all the different vendors and people that came together, and to realize that the audience could recontextualize their world by entering into the world of B2B. Because if you think about all the human beings that went into just this room around us, right? The chairs you're sitting in, even just the people that came to put this together, somebody grew that tree. That's a real tree. Somebody pruned the tree. Somebody will pick up the tree, and they will go home after that and see their kids, et cetera. So the world around us is actually humming with humanity. So many people who converged to create this world, and you are among them, and you are all the storytellers of those people. That's what I found when I came to the story of B2B. I'd like to point out somebody very special. We traveled all around the world to make this film, but we spent a lot of time with a gentleman who I've come to know and love. His name is Tom Stein. Please stand, Tom. There he is. Tom Stein. No, that's not Paul Giamatti. That's Tom Stein. And you'll see a little bit of him in the trailer, but it's been a real pleasure getting to know so many people in your field. I just have to make the observation that, as a filmmaker, I'm privy to all kinds of different businesses, people, communities all over the world. There's an enormous optimism and generosity in the room, not only here, but in your industry. People that want to help each other, that have a growth mindset, that this thing is all going to help everybody. It's not a competitive thing, people sniping from each other. There's a real generosity, and I love that about you. And I think that will make you all very successful, and I look forward to seeing all the amazing things. So give yourself a round of applause for all the amazing things you're doing and will do. And without further ado, you are the first. Are you ready to see the trailer? Are you ready? Okay. You're the first people to see it. It is the trailer to our short documentary film, Everybody's Business.
If you want to make a difference, you'd work for a B2B company.
B2B.
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 B2B stands for business to business. The company that makes things not to sell to you, but to sell to other companies. And if you're into marketing, you'd work in the marketing organization of that company.
When people talk about marketing, they're thinking about only the marketing that could help the companies to sell something. But marketing is not only this. Marketing is a way to mobilize minds.
B2B is what drives most human endeavors. And so our next step is to make sure that a renaissance in creativity occurs. Cannes Lion is the ultimate festival of creativity in the advertising and marketing world.
It's like the World Cup of creativity.
Yes, we're selling to a company, but that doesn't mean it has to be boring.
Everybody's human, everybody has a heart. We just had to get the people's heart.
And we had to make a noise.
Creativity can come from anywhere. 35 years ago, there wasn't LinkedIn and social media. They found each other and created magic. So I think we've got to use the technology that we have at our fingertips today to find creatives from around the world.
be on the Palais stage representing the B2B world. It's incredible. This is B2B's decade.
That's the future. Using creative to change the world.
We can't wait for you to check out the full film, and we'll have more details on where and when that'll be very soon. Chances are you'll be able to check it out on LinkedIn too. So thank you, Ben. Thank you all, and have a happy Be to Believe.